beginning of chanting Hare Kṛṣṇa, we have to contend with our minds. And there's a complaint or a concern that most devotees have. And that is that although I'm chanting, I can't hear myself chanting because I'm hearing some other sound. And that's the sound of our own minds. And in the beginning, we may feel that chanting Hare Kṛṣṇa is not very desirable because when we chant, we feel bored or we're not absorbed and we think about the things and we'd rather get up and sit down. Of course, it's okay to get up when we chant. There's no harm in it at all. So there's a couple of instructions that are very important. One is given by Krishna in the 3rd chapter of the Bhagavad-gītā, in which he says, Evam Buddhi Paramurva Samstadya Anam Jahishaki Mahabhavu Kamarupam Rasa. He says to Arjuna, one should overcome one's lower nature, which is raging
Hare Kṛṣṇa, Hare Kṛṣṇa.
and rajas. Raging the rajas. By intelligence. And this is the idea behind Set Krishna Nama Chaitanya Satanta Vidyapito Tapta Rasanasana Rochikam Kintva Anudinanda Sayajustas Swadvikrami Bhagati Tattara Mulahantrida. In the beginning, one has to treat the chanting of Hare Kṛṣṇa as a medicine. Because when Rūpa Goswāmī says you have a disease, especially jaundice, and you take the medicine itself seems awful. Because jaundice makes the curative sugarcane taste terrible. Isn't it nice that he's anticipated the fact that when we chant Hare Kṛṣṇa, it may taste terrible instead of sweet, even though it's the sweetest thing? He gives the metaphor for us, so we can feel some relief. Because most people feel discouraged when they chant Hare Kṛṣṇa, they don't experience ecstatic symptoms and feel glued to the chanting for 16 full rounds. So, following the advice of Rūpa Goswāmī and Kṛṣṇa in the Bhagavad-gītā, we can understand that we have to be consistent in chanting to begin with by using our intelligence. Krishna says, conquer the low self by the intelligence. So when we're clear that this is medicinal, and we have trust that the doctor is qualified, then we can practice chanting Hare Kṛṣṇa for consistency. And here's just a few points. One is be professional. Professionals show up no matter what, not when they feel like it. Otherwise that person will be fired. So for your japa, in the practice of japa, go for steadiness, not taste. Be very, very patient over years to show up for your japa based on your intelligence. And practice a lot. Those who learn to play the mṛdaṅga, who mess around, who don't take a teacher, who don't practice the rudiments, end up playing sloppy mṛdaṅga or concocting. I mean, if they're playing devotionally, there's no harm in it, but they end up slapping it in weird ways. It disturbs the kīrtana rather than helps it move along. And if we don't practice carefully, practice means correct practice. And that means practicing again and again, even if out of 16 rounds we can only hear one mantra. At least you heard one mantra that can change everything. But we have to be patient, we have to practice a lot and keep showing up again and again. And have the determination of Rukmini Devi, as I mentioned it yesterday. She told Krishna, Yashandri Pankajava Jasana Namahanto Vanchanti Malpatirigama Tamopanya Yariyam Chakshana Bhaveya Bhavat Prasana Krishna Asam Pratik. First, Jahyam Asum Pratikrishan Janmadisya. She said, I'm prepared to do this for hundreds of lifetimes if that's required. That has to be our determination. That's sadhana bhakti. It's not, I'm not getting enough juice. I don't feel the bhava. Therefore this must not work. I quit. I'll go scroll on the internet instead. Don't do that. Be very professional. Show up for your japa. Be determined. If you don't get anything, then be prepared to give up this body and start over again in the next life and do it again. That's what Rukmini says. She said, if I can't have you as my husband in this life, I'll perform such severe austerities that I'll give up my body, and in my next life, I'll do it again until you consent that you're going to marry me. So we have to be like that. That's sadhana bhakti. Sadhana bhakti is not messing around. It's very serious. So the place to be really serious is with our japa and come as a pro. Do your work, bring your lunchbox, stay for the long term. And if you do that over many, many lifetimes, then maybe you hear one mantra and realize Krishna and his name are not different. If we have that, then we have a joyful life dedicated to the chanting Hare Kṛṣṇa. Any comments or questions before we commence? Ask a comment or make a question before we commence. Give reflection. We'll take two, one from this side, one from that side. I'll count down from 5, and if you don't raise your hand, I'm going to call on you. 5, 4.
How do we exactly focus on chanting if the mind is active?
Exactly focus means you first have to be a witness. This is called Chanting. It's mentioned by Vaisesika in the 11th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. He says, don't try to pull the mind back from the objects, because the mind is embedded in the objects and the objects are embedded in the mind, but pull yourself back from your mind. So, preparing yourself for focus means Rajahati yadakama sarva parta manogatan atmani amanatushta sita pragnasta dochite. To be fixed, to be focused, that's Krishna to Arjuna in the Gita, 2nd chapter. That be aloof from your mind and notice that it's going on. Sarva parta manogatan. The mind just goes and goes and goes. And you just notice that, oh, look at it, a little factory. It's creating all kinds of cartoons and ideas about the material world. But it's something I'm just watching. And prajahati means you pull back from it and you just watch it and you're not attached to it. So you have to realize your mind's going on. As soon as you jump into the mind and get absorbed in those thoughts, then you're not hearing the holy name. So if you're aloof from the mind, then you can notice that it's going on. You're not overwhelmed by the cacophony of sounds in your mind, and you notice that you have free will to point your awareness in any direction you want. That's our superpower. We get to decide where to put our attention. But we can't do it when we're pulled by our mind. So once we're aloof from the mind, then be very deliberate about bringing your awareness to the sound of the holy name. And you can even look at the mantra, if you like, and be aware that Krishna is doing the same. One from the side.
Thank you.
Thanks for such a nice question. Okay, one. Okay, who's got their hand up? Yes.
I like your point where you said if you don't get anything for japa, be professional and then keep showing up and be steady.
Yes, that's true in writing also. Writing is the hardest thing that anybody could do on earth, maybe even harder than chanting. And those who are expert at that, like this devotee, he's not a devotee, but he did write a book about Bhagavad-gītā. His name is Stephen Pressfield. And he wrote a book called The War of Art. Not the art of the war, the war of art. It means whenever you try to do something where you're putting your full mind and intelligence into, there's a war that happens, there's a resistance. His solution, just be professional, show up and do your writing whether you feel like it or not, and they'll begin to flow. So we can apply that to the process of chanting also. You go pro. Don't be an amateur and go if you feel like it or not. Show up. Bring your lunchbox. Be there for the long term. Hare Kṛṣṇa.
It was the same.
Let's try. Pardon me?
It was the
Same.
same.
As they say in Thailand. Same but different. So, Krishna's name is better than Krishna because although it's Krishna, he comes to deliver us as an avatar. We can conquer the lower self by the intelligence. We can focus by detaching ourselves from the mind. And we should decide to go pro. Sign up for the professional version, not the amateur version, where I whine and complain because I didn't get any taste. So let's try by starting with prayer. Dear Srila Prabhupada, dear Sri Haridas Thakur, Shri Shri Kanchatafa, if we so desire, please give us the best of association and the wherewithal to take advantage of it. Please empower us to be consistent in our chanting of our 16 rounds every day. Thank you for considering our request. Om Tat Sat. And we can start with the Panchatattva mantra, the gateway mantra that allows us to chant Hare Kṛṣṇa. It's a high entry level for chanting Hare Kṛṣṇa mantra in one way because it's about Hare Kṛṣṇa. So we start with Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Shri Vasudeva Gaura Hare Kṛṣṇa Hare Kṛṣṇa Hare Rama. Any observations so far? Maybe more share. And maybe just, if you could just for a second turn properly to chanting life so we don't talk about it. Observation. Yes, normally.
The analogy that you mentioned of deities, Rūpa Goswāmī, Kṛṣṇa. She was saying, Japa, give up some of my life years until I do.
I don't know if anybody can hear you. Can you hear? Yeah. Try again. Go.
I like the analogy that you mentioned about Rukmini Devi. She said that Jahyana soon with Krishna. So I will give up my life years until I achieve that. And you compared that to the chanting. That was really, really nice because we often think that, oh, we want perfection immediately or very quick or shortcuts. But there's no shortcut to devotion service. All you have to do is just keep trying again and again and again, lifetime after lifetime. That was so encouraging. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Observations, your realizations. Sharing means caring.
Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Martin Scorsese.
There's simultaneously, with chanting, a feeling of separation from Krishna and being in touch with Krishna, being in touch with his name, which is non-different than Krishna. How do you gauge the ebb and flow of that feeling of when the mind gets distracted? That's also separation from Krishna. And even though we may be chanting and our mind goes elsewhere, we're trying to bring it back to the name. And even when we're chanting the name, we feel not in touch with Him. And then sometimes we get a glimpse of feeling His presence and feeling that His name is the same.
So what's your question? It's a nice observation. What's your question? One sentence.
Is the separation part of chanting, or should we feel this constant connection to Krishna?
Well, we are constantly connected with Krishna, but there is a phenomenon when somebody's in the association of Krishna, they're still feeling separation. This is one of the spiritual emotions. But our being separated from Krishna because we're interested in something else is a different thing. But there is an emotion that advanced devotees have while they're with Krishna. They're feeling separation from Him simultaneously. So it's good that we're experiencing being thoughtful about whether you're connected to the mantra or not. And it's a little bit of a mystery, because Krishna is mysterious. Who can understand Krishna? He cannot understand himself completely, so what can we say? Okay, so I'm going to go for a short japa walk. And if you want to come, I'm just going to walk down to the end of the street and back. If you don't want to come, that's okay too. Shri Harinam Prabhu ki jai, Prabhupada ki jai, Stalwart devotees ki jai, Vajrayana ki jai.